Age word problems. So I call this the table method. I think, as far as I know, that Gary made this up. I'm not 100% sure. I would solve these if I had been given a problem like this, I would solve it using something called systems of equations, but we haven't learned that yet. So once we do, I'll kind of come back and mention how you could solve these with systems of equations. Yeah?
Also, can't you make an equation and then solve it with that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to create an equation. But I like to use a table, or Gary also, kind of showed me how to use a table to organize your thinking here. And there's a really key point about how we use this table. So it says Joe is 5 times as old as his brother. So I'm going to make a table with Joe and his bro, and the first column is going to be how old they are now. So right now, if Joe's brother is X years old, then Joe is 5X. So I'm just making a variable and putting the other age in terms of that variable. So X and 5X. He's 5 times as old. Okay, now here's the key. It says in 10 years. Stop right there. When it says in 10 years, 10 years ago, last year, next year, 5 years from now, whatever, you stop. Okay? Because that is really important information. In 10 years means plus 10. And I'm going to make that the next box of my, the next column of my table. I almost said the next box of my column. That doesn't make sense. The next column of my table is going to be 10 years from now. But I already know how old they are. In 10 years, Joe will just be 5X plus 10. And his brother will just be X plus 10. Now, the last part of the sentence is going to tell me how to write an equation. So I know this is Joe's age in 10 years. This is his brother's age in 10 years. It says the sum of their ages. That just means Joe's age, 5X plus 10, sum means plus his brother's age, which is X plus 10, will be means equals 26. So the key thing to realize here is this whole thing is Joe's age in 10 years. This is Joe's brother's age in 10 years. And the table helps me to figure out what expression I should use for Joe's age in 10 years and his brother's age in 10 years. Okay? Now this is a one variable equation that I can solve. So I'm going to collect my like terms. 5x plus x is 6x. And 10 plus 10 is 20. Then I'm going to subtract 20. 6x equals 6. Divide both sides by 6. X equals 1. Now I have to look back at my table and figure out what x is. X is his brother's age now. What is the question? How old is Joe's bro? So that means how old is he now, not how old will he be, but how old is he? So the correct answer to this is he is 1. Or he is 1 year old, you would say. Yeah.
To find Joe's age would be multiply x by 5.
Yeah. So Joe's age now, he's 5. Yeah. If they asked how old will Joe be in 10 years, it would be 5 times 1, which is 5, plus 10. He'd be 15 in 10 years. So we could figure out anything that they asked us, as long as we keep track of our variables. Let's do one more problem like this. So a big piece of this is something that you guys have already practiced, which is kind of decoding the English into the math, right? Like 5 times. That means, 5 times means like 5 times, right? That's a pretty simple one. The sum means, what did I do with that? The sum means you add them together, that sort of thing. Okay? So, here's another problem. Trisha is 13 years older than her sister. Next year, she will be 1 year less than twice her sister's age. How old are Trisha and her sister? Okay. How old are Trisha and her sister? So, I'm going to make my little table to help me organize my thoughts. Here's, oops. I don't need all of that. I'm used to making those rate tables. So, Trisha, sister, right? Right now, it tells me Trisha is 13 years older than her sister. So, if her sister is X, Trisha is X plus 13. Next year, stop. Remember, we're always going to stop like halfway through these problems in order to figure out an expression for Trisha's age next year and for her sister's age next year. So next year just means plus 1, right? So Trisha's age next year will be X plus 13 plus 1, which is X plus 14. Her sister's age will be X plus 1. So this is Trisha's age next year. This is her sister's age next year. It says, next year, she, that's Trisha. So I'm going to write down X plus 14 will be, that's equals, 1 year less than. So I hope you guys remember this. I think you did this with Gary, right? When it says less than, you write minus 1, but you kind of have to remember that it's, like when we subtract 1, I can't write minus 1 at the front, right?
Yeah.
I have to write minus 1 kind of at the end. So less than what, though? Less than twice her sister's age. Here's an important thing to realize. Twice her sister's age. I need parentheses around her sister's age because it's twice her sister's age. It's not like twice X plus 1. It's twice all of her sister's age. And her sister's age is X plus 1. So I have to multiply all of that times 2. I have to multiply this whole thing times 2, which I show with parentheses. So let's go back through that. Next year, I stopped. I wrote down plus 1. I filled in this table. Trisha is X plus 14. Her sister is X plus 1. Then I went on. She. She means Trisha. So I wrote down Trisha's age next year, X plus 14. Will be, that means equals, 1 year less than twice her sister's age. That became all of this, right? 1 year less than twice, and this is her sister's age. Now I can solve it. So X plus 14 has to equal 2X plus 2 minus 1. I would subtract X from both sides, and I would also combine these two like terms. So I would have 14 equals X plus 1, subtract 1 from both sides, and flip it around so I have x equals 13. But what is x? Go back to our table. Oh, x is her sister's age right now. How old are Trisha and her sister? Well, her sister is 13, so Trisha must be 13 plus 13, 26 years old. So my final answer to this question would be Trisha is 26 and her sister is 13. Or sister. In Maine we say sister.